All right, guys, we are going to do a training on marketing new releases. We're going to talk about how to market new releases before the releases come out, during the release, and after the release. Now, this is just going to be a basic overview because we want to keep this video short. So definitely catch it on the record, but if then also schedule a meeting with your sponsor or with myself, and then we can go over more in-depth any one of those specific things if you have any questions. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start with just sort of an overview of before a release comes out, during, and after. So I just want to start by saying you do not need to do every single release. Okay, do not get overwhelmed. Do not feel like you need to chase Scentsy. You own your own business, which means you get to operate your business the way you'd like, obviously within compliance, okay? But you get to pick and choose. So what I want you to do is just start off with this entire training with the mindset of Scentsy gives us the tools to be successful. Now it's up to you which tools you want to use and which tools are your favorite and which ones you're comfortable with, which ones you want to try out, okay? But this is your business. So what I do may not be what you do. What I share may not be what you share. But with that caveat, I will say do not limit yourself to just the things you like. You never know if an item that you don't like at all ends up being your big seller. Okay. But what I want you to keep in mind is you do not need to chase Scentsy. There's a lot of new releases, especially during this time of the year. The fall and winter is our hugest sales times with our harvest collection, our holiday collection, and our new catalog. So please do not get overwhelmed. Take a deep breath. I'm going to share a lot of information, but again, keep in mind, you own your own business. You operate it the way you want. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's get into before new releases. So we have several resources at your disposal. You may know how to find them. You may not know how to find them, but we'll start with the workstation. The workstation is your back office. So at the end of the month, we always have an end of the month live with either Dan Orchard and or our owners, Heidi and Orville. Sometimes they add in some extra guests, but we learn a lot about what's coming in the next month in that end of the month live. So hopefully you can catch it. If you can't, we always put up the live in our team page. So you can go back and watch it, as well as sort of an overview of what's come out. Okay, so that's a great resource to start off with. Then on top of that, they update our planning document. It's called the Planning Ahead document. Now that document is a living document. It starts off one way at the beginning of the month, and then it sort of changes towards the end of the month. It'll tell you what's leaving. So if you're ever looking for what's leaving at the end of the month, that's another place to go back to. Another resource in your workstation is the news tab. I like to say, definitely check that at least once a week on Thursdays. Scentsy has tried to get everything to come out on the same day, but there's sales that come out and other things that come out throughout. So definitely check it as often as you can, but definitely at least Thursdays at the very least. Now, the other resource that I will tell you is you can check our team page. So in our team page, we're going to take a lot of those news articles. I say a lot of them, not all of them, right? Because sometimes I don't grab all of them, or the other leaders on our team don't grab all of them. So it is not an exhaustive list, but you can check the team page for any of those news articles. And then also our featured tab in the team page. So I try to keep that relevant and current to what's coming out. Also, I've started using hashtags in the team page. So you can do hashtag home office news. You can also do hashtag the month with the year. So in this case, it would be hashtag September 2024, and all of the things that were released in that news tab should come up. Okay, we also have guides in our team page too, but that is a great resource for you guys. So check your workstation, check the team page. And then once you have all of those resources, you're going to want to create a calendar. And what's really important about creating a calendar, now Scentsy does have one that you can upload, but it doesn't have everything in there. We can go into details on how to find that and how to import it into your Google or iCalendar later, but it is available. So create a calendar, but what's really important is putting in your personal dates. okay? Put in as much as you can. Life happens. It does. So if you plot it out, you can see where you've got holes, where you're not going to be as busy as other times. And you guys, I'm a huge, huge procrastinator. This is so helpful for me because as a procrastinator, I do things in the middle of the night. I do things last minute. And sometimes life happens and gets in the way, and then I'm unable to do any of those things. So make sure you're plotting things in the holes that you have. Having a plan is definitely the way to success, right? So make sure that you have a plan and add your personal dates. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to identify who and how you are going to market the products. Okay. So think about who those target people and groups and spaces are going to be. You can look at your customer list. You can go into your workstation and look at your current customer list. You can see the products that they purchased before. So if it's something that they usually purchase, if it's a buddy, you can actually filter through in your workstation reports on pre-existing customers. So we can go into that more in depth later if that's something that you're not familiar with. You can do that. Now, some people, you don't have customers that have purchased like items before. So you're going to want to create a list of customers or people that you know that might be interested in the products that are going to be released. So you definitely want to think about who you're going to be targeting with these products. And then think about the spaces that you're going to be utilizing. Are you going to do social media? Are you going to go to local businesses? Are you going to maybe create a fundraiser focusing on this product? So think of the different spaces that you already currently operate in. And I think this is where things start to get overwhelmed. Remember, we're going back to we operate our own business the way we want to, and we pick and choose the things that we want to focus on. So don't get overwhelmed, but definitely think about the spaces that you already are moving in because those are a little bit easier to spend your time in, right? So for example, if you love hanging out on Facebook, you interact in Facebook, you talk to all your friends on Facebook, that's probably a space that you're going to want to focus on because it comes naturally, it's fun, and you've already got a lot of engagement there, okay? Now, if you want to challenge yourself, definitely look into some other spaces because we always want to be growing into new spaces so that our customer base doesn't stay stagnant. Okay, so think about one that you're really comfortable in and one you'd like to grow in and challenge yourself with. So once you kind of identify all of those things, and definitely write them down, guys, I don't remember anything anymore, so write it down. Then once you do that, you're going to use attraction marketing. Now we're going to have a separate training with Marie. She is amazing at attraction marketing, you guys. If you are not following her, follow her and see what she does. But attraction marketing is a way in which to attract your target markets without in your face, this is what you're doing, specific things, right? So you're kind of drawing them in and pulling them in sort of like in a subconscious or very organic way. So think organic targeting, right? You're not going to say, buy this. Okay. So what we mean by attraction marketing, like I said, I'm just going to go really over it very shortly so we can stay within time, is you want to interact with the identified customers and spaces that you've created in your list. You want to interact there. You want to create engagement there. You want to, for example, if I have targeted, my cousin Susan, then I'm going to say, hey, cousin Susan, how are you doing? What's going on? What have you been up to? I know that you love Dumbo. Have you been able to go to Walt Disney World and ride the Dumbo ride lately? Shoot me a picture of Dumbo, like that kind of thing, if you're trying to target a product that's Dumbo, right? But again, make it organic and be authentic. Trust me, people can pick up when you're trying to sell them something. So be very organic and authentic. We always want to think of value. What type of value are we imbuing into this when we're using attraction marketing? Why would that person be interested in this product? How does it make their life better, right? So definitely keep that in mind. So you're going to want to interact with them, but you're going to want to share like items. So like I used in my example, if you know that cousin Susan loves Dumbo, then you're going to be sharing different things like that. Okay. So related items, but also you want to share unrelated items. You want to be relevant in people's social media feeds. You want to be relevant when you're text messaging them. You want to be relevant when you're maybe sending emails out. A really great way to generate some interaction is to create a Tip Tuesday email for your customers. Get in there and interact with them and give them value that has nothing to do with the product that's coming up, right? So you want to share like items, but you also want to share non-like items. And that's what's really important about attraction marketing. You want a big percentage of that to be non-Scentsy product related items that's making you relatable, that's making you authentic, that's sharing a part of who you are and capturing that audience and creating that engagement and that interaction. Okay, then, and we're still talking about the before segment, so I'm going to spend a little more time there because we're leading up to now we're going to identify how we're going to share the information. Remember, you want a plan. So we've already kind of created our lists with our customers that we want to target and our spaces that we want to target in. So now we're going to create a plan on how we're going to share that information. We're going to need to grab marketing images that Scentsy has shared with us. We're going to want to grab in real life photos if they're available. A lot of these products that are releasing during the holiday season were shared at our Scentsy family reunion. There are a lot of spaces and a lot of consultants, even if you didn't get to go, that took pictures and videos. Our Scentsy community is all about giving back, giving more than you take. So there's a ton of material out there, and real life photos really show and shine and create more engagement interaction than stock photos. Use the stock photos. Scentsy does a great job. They're also adding videos. So play around in the marketing tab in your workstation because they're providing videos and all kinds of great things. So definitely use the stock stuff that comes, but again, you want more of a sort of an in real life feel or vibe to it. So you're going to identify where and when you're going to share these products. That's where the calendar comes into play. What I do, for example, is we usually get the information, the marketing, the pricing, and all that on Thursdays. So what I do is I have a newsletter, text message, email that goes out to all of my customers on Friday. So I get all the information together on Thursday. I schedule it to drop Friday morning, and my customers will get a text message every Friday that says, "Happy Fry, yay! This is what's coming out. This is what's going on over the next week or so." Okay, so think about how you want to share that information. I share it via text message using the program called Project Broadcast, but Scentsy has created an app for us called Scentsy Connect. It's also a great space to be able to contact and interact a one-on-one with your customers because it gives you the availability to use email, text message, and even incorporate some of the social media messengers that we use, like a Facebook Messenger or an Instagram Messenger. So definitely take a look. It is a free app. You don't need to pay for it. Amazing. Okay. Then you need to decide if you're going to take pre-orders. Now, I do get a lot of questions about pre-orders. A pre-order does not mean that we as Scentsy consultants get access to the products before customers. There are some times and some instances when that is the case, but in most cases, I would say 90% of the cases, we don't have access before customers. So you need to make that really clear when you're setting expectations for offering a pre-order. What I always say to my customers is, you know what, this is releasing at 10 a.m., this is releasing at midnight, depending on what your time zone is. If you're not awake or you're not available, I will absolutely order that for you, but please keep in mind that I may not get it. I have several pre-orders before you, et cetera, et cetera. So set realistic expectations so that if there is a case where it sells out very quickly and you don't get it, you don't have customers that are angry with you. They'll still be upset, but at least you set the expectation so they know that it is not a guaranteed pre-order, okay? So identify if you want to take pre-orders. Now, I can go more into detail about pre-orders. There are some compliance issues about when you can take money and how you can offer wording and all those kinds of things. But again, this is just an overview of how to market new releases. Please reach out to your sponsor and or set up a coach call with me or another director in your team so that way you can go more into depth in any of these things that I talk about that you need more information about, how to find things, etc. So then you're going to create a sense of urgency or a call to action. Okay, so now that you're in the kind of planning on how you're going to share the information, what sense of urgency or how are you going to create a sense of urgency? What is your call to action? For example, if I'm talking to my cousin Susan about Dumbo and her love for Dumbo, now I'm like, oh my God, did you see we're releasing a new Dumbo warmer? Oh my God, it is so cute. I think it is the perfect collector's item. I can imagine it sitting on your Disney shelf. Oh my gosh, it's adorable. Do you want me to pre-order it for you? Would you like to order it? That kind of thing. I really think they're going to sell out. It's a limited edition item. It's not in our catalog. So that means that it's while supplies last. So message me by this date if you need me to grab it for you, right? So you're creating a sense of urgency. You're letting them know that it is a limited time only. You're telling them it could potentially sell out. And you're also doing a call to action. Contact me if you need me to order that for you or something like that. Okay, so that's an example of how you're creating a sense of urgency and a call to action. All right, so that's everything before the release. Okay, now we have learned that in the world of Scentsy, there is a difference between a limited time only item, limited offer, LTO, and a catalog item. But what we've seen recently is that even though it's being released as a catalog item, it sells out and goes on back order. And some of the products that we have currently on back order are not coming back until January. Now, it could come sooner, but you really want to let your customers know the difference between an LTO, a catalog item, back orders, and all the things. Educate your customers and let them know if you really need this by a birthday or Christmas or something like that, you've got to order it right away, get into my pre-orders, all the things. Let them know that if money is an issue, we do have on PayPal a payment method that you can use, right? They have the pay later on PayPal. It's not available to everybody, so definitely create that sense of realistic expectation, but let them know that is an option depending on their region and whether or not they qualify. Okay. So during the release, open your doors, you guys. You run a business. No one is going to shop with you unless you open your doors and say, I'm open. Here we go. The release is here. And there's a couple different ways that you can do that. So if you're using social media, post a picture that you're in the queue, right? I'm in the queue. I'm ordering. It's here. Do stories in your Facebook or Instagram. Make sure that you're adding a link, a shopping link to all of your Facebook and Instagram and what have you stories. I know that it depends on the social media and how they, prioritize algorithms. That's another training. But make sure you open your doors. Make sure they know where to purchase. Make sure you're saying to everyone, it's here, come and get it, okay? Then you're gonna start interacting. That day that it's released, interact with all of those targeted groups and spaces that you had in your list. So you were already talking to them before the release. Now you wanna keep talking to them. It's not like you just push the information out there and hope that they order. You've gotta keep going. They have shown in statistics and research that it takes several times, I think up to 7 times, for someone to see something before they actually act on it, right? And then we also know if you're using social media as your space or even emails, that sometimes they don't see it, right? So if they open an email, what is the click-through rate on that? Have they clicked, unsubscribe? Do you know that? There is a place to check in your workstation. If you're using the email service through Workstation, there's a place to check to see if they have unsubscribed from your email list. You want to know that, right? Same thing with text messages. If you're using a program like Project Broadcast, you need to make sure that they're still getting your text messages. Have they unsubscribed from them? So you have to make sure that this is actually information that they're seeing. That's where the call to action comes in. Because if they're engaging and interacting with you, you know that they've seen the stuff. But sometimes you just don't know. So during the release, you want to keep that going, okay? So typically, I know that when we're talking about the pre-planning stage, I know some of you guys work a full-time job, okay? That's okay. Again, it's your business. Operate your business the way that you operate your business. You can still offer it. You can schedule things out. You can, in text messaging, you can schedule a text message to come out the next morning. You can do that on most text messaging apps. You don't need to use Project Broadcast. And also Sensi Connect, I believe, has a scheduling function in it as well. So if you're someone who's working during the release, it doesn't mean you can't communicate to your people. You just need to schedule the things out. Okay. And trust me, you will attract your people. If you work, you're probably attracting a lot of people that work as well. And you want to accommodate their schedules as well, right? You want to be hitting them during their hours, just like yours. Okay. So day of, you want to open your doors, you want to interact with your people, you want to follow up on pre-orders. What I love to do is make a post like, hey guys, all my pre-orders have been, I got all my pre-orders. It's even if I don't have a pre-order, I will make a post that says, hey guys, I got all my pre-orders, right? Nobody knows, but it's another way to then let them know that it's another way of letting them know that my store is open, it's released, you can purchase. It's another reminder. And then you want to follow up on your pre-orders and let the people that you did do pre-orders and let them know that you grabbed it. Okay. So you definitely want to do that. You're beefing up your algorithms. You're showing people interest. All those things. So the next thing you want to do is you go live. Go live the day of. Beef those algorithms. Say, hey guys, oh my God, something released today. I'm so excited. You can go live with related items and unrelated items. Remember, think about that attraction marketing. Then you also want to make sure that you're posting to all your social medias. Utilize those stories, add those links, bump those comments. If you posted something in a group a long time ago and there was interest in the comments, go back to those comments and say, guess what, guys, it's available now, and add your link. Okay. We're running out of time. So I just want to touch lightly on after. So we talked about before, during, and after. So after, now there are times when products are still available after release. If it's a catalog item, or if it's an LTO item, and this is when it's the most fun, because hopefully it does not sell out before you actually get the item in hand and you can do an unboxing. That is a great way to show people what the product looks like and how to use it, right? If you don't have the means, the financial means to purchase the products, that's okay. Like I said, the Sensi community is all about sharing. So there are probably in real life photos from other people that have unboxed. You can pretend they're yours, right? You can pretend that that's your living room. You don't have to say, this is my living room, I got it, but you can share it, right? And just let them assume it's yours. So definitely do that. So you want to find the real life pictures and share them. You want to go live with the product if you have the product. And then you want to follow up with people that did order it. Follow up with them because you can always upsell. You can always say, oh my God, how do you love that? Do you need more bars? Is there someone else that you think might want the item? Friends and family, birthdays, Christmas. There's always an opportunity to check in with them and follow up with them and see if they need more. Okay, so we talked about, just going to do a quick recap. We talked about marketing new releases. And remember I said, come from the perspective that you own your own business, you run your own business, you don't have to share everything. Don't get overwhelmed. Do it the way you want within compliance. We talked about before, having a plan. Who are you going to target? How are you going to target them? Then we talked about attraction marketing and how important that is throughout all 3 steps of this process. We talked about during the release. Open your doors. Let people know you are ready for business. The release has happened. Follow up with all those people. Share on all your social medias. Talk. And then after, assuming it hasn't sold out, find a way to share all of those products. So hopefully this has been really, really helpful for you guys. Please, if you have any questions, send them through the comments. I'll get back to you. And like I said, this was a quick overview. We will touch on all kinds of different things later. And if you have any questions or what have you, like I said, reach out to your sponsor. You can certainly message me. We can do a coach call, all the things. All right, guys.